Joe Woods. I'm the Senior Vice President of ABS Consulting. Our session today is titled Shipping in the AI Era, Optimizing the Commercial and Operational Landscape. So the title can sound a little futuristic, so we're going to try to keep this very practical and hopefully gain some insights of what's happening in the industry today. We're at an interesting point in the market. There's a lot of talk about AI, everything digital, everything smart, but the market is still faced with a lot of challenges, whether it's regulatory, decarbonization, crewing needs, and just keeping vessels operating safely and efficiently on a day-to-day basis. So the real question is not, will AI change the world, but where will it have the biggest impact, operationally, commercially, technically, and secondly, what needs to be in place to support those efforts? Data governance, people, training, systems, things of that nature. So with us today, we have a very esteemed panel who will discuss this. So I'd like to do some introductions. To my left, Mr. Konstantinos Vlachos, from COO of CASTOR Maritime. Mr. Dimitris Vastarouchas, for COO and VP of Danaos Corporation. Konstantinos Stampedakis, co-founder and managing director of ERMA Tech Group. And then finally, Mr. Vasileios Petousis, Energy and Sustainability Manager for Seanergy Maritime Holdings. Most of the companies here are not AI labs, so hopefully we'll get some really practical discussions of what's happening in the industry today. So to get things started, I'm going to start with Konstantinos. Question: when evaluating new technology, what is the key criteria you consider before funding a pilot or adopting a solution?
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
I think the question is for me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, to Konstantinos, sorry.
Konstantinos, both of us, yes. So the first criterion that we put in our company is to see what is the impact of this solution to our operation. We don't choose an AI without to resolve a specific problem or to resolve our pain in operation. This is very much important, otherwise the system or the solution is left on the shelf. The second one is if the data are here and if the integration of the data can be done easily with other possible systems that we have on board. We don't want to go to the hardware or to the manual data input, which bring our people on board and assort in a difficult position and put a burden on them. The cybersecurity and regulatory framework, it is important item that we are looking at this. We want to know that the system is assured and the vendor that provides the solution follows an assurance and verification process. Finally, it is the return on investment and how much scalable is the system that we are going to implement. We are looking for a pilot project for 1 or maximum 2 years, and if we see returns on investments, which are measurable, of course, like fuel consumption reduction or reduction in the OPEX, or reliability of the equipment, only in such case we are going on and we implement the system. Otherwise, again, the system is left on the shelf. Thank you.
Great. And as a follow-up question, where do you see the first practical entry point for AI for CASTOR's day-to-day operations, and what would make it worth the effort?
So I have the privilege to reply immediately as a second question. Thank you about it. Really, we have already made our entry in this AI system, and the first operational assistant that we are looking for was the safety of our ship of our ships and, of course, the safe navigation. That's why we have implemented a system for avoidance of collisions. We have seen a reduction in the near misses about incidents and accidents, and this encourages us to continue on this matter. The second one system that we have already applied is the optimization of the voyage, which is very, very critical and important for shipping today. We want to run our vessels with an optimum speed based on the weather conditions and based on the charter party requirements, and therefore the optimization of the voyage is a must today. The third one, solution that we haven't yet adopted but we are looking for, is the troubleshooting, which is very much important. We want to assist our crew on board to have a narrowed down solution in case that a mechanical or other type of problem occurs on board the vessel, to narrow down the options for root cause analysis for our shore personnel, and that's why we developed a system of the troubleshooting with an external partnership. The condition on base monitoring is another one solution very, very critical for the reliability of the equipment and the systems on board the vessel, which is going to reduce our OPEX and, of course, is going to increase the reliability of our operation. It's very much important. I don't want to put aside another one very, very important AI support, which is the training and the familiarization of our crew on board. We want to use the virtual training on board the vessel, and our personnel to know well in advance and to familiarize themselves with the systems that a specific vessel has, with a virtual reality and simulators on ashore. This is very much important, and I don't finally put aside the important thing of automatic reporting, especially today that we need so many reports for EU ETS, for Fuel EU, for CII, and of course the connection between all this data with the platforms of classification societies for approval. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Clearly, you're not on the sidelines when it comes to AI. Very, very impressive. Dimitris, if I could, as COO, where do you think AI could realistically move the needle first? Chartering, fleet deployment, shipboard efficiencies, or somewhere else?
Hello to everyone. At first, I think that AI felt threatened today and mixed the schedule with a break. But we are quite brave to counteract. And before answering the question directly, I'd like to set another question. Is AI a threat or an opportunity? Perhaps both. I decided to participate in this panel for a simple reason. Because from one side, I'm impressed of its power, but from the other side, I feel threatened. I fear it. Why? Because we don't know it. And I think that in future, these panels will be a little bit different. We will have some of us staying here answering questions, and the other side, we will have maybe an AI machine or an algorithm or whatever to debate in order to know it better. But coming back to reality, I will say that I think that seaboard efficiency moves the needle first, not because the others are inferior, the contrary. Chartering is vital, but it's too complex. And why seaboard efficiency is this part that moves the needle? Because it's directly related with the OPEX and compliance. Don't forget that in the front line, what is important for a shipping company is utilization, OPEX, quality standards. And with AI implementation in this field, we can improve and control them. At the same time, we can control the capex that we apply if it is in a limited environment, which is a ship. Moreover, we have the clear metrics that they give us information about the benefit that the ships gain, or maybe the positive or even negative outcome, but it is still controllable. So if we look back what we have today in the market from AI implementations and applications, we see that generally we have something on the fuel efficiency optimization, clean hulls, propellers cleanings, predictive maintenance, and crew planning. Things that are working despite the market, which many times is volatile. So yes, for the time being, we're talking about the shipboard efficiency, but don't underestimate AI. It came here, it will stay here, and it will change the reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Following up on something you said earlier about you see it as a threat and an opportunity, how would you assess whether an emerging technology like AI aligns with your company's risk appetite and compliance obligations?
Yes, this is very important, I think, because we need to evaluate the risk. To align with the company's policies and strategies, AI has to be explainable, controllable, compliant, and subordinate to the human decision-making. What I mean when I say explainable, we have to understand what exactly is and how it fits, it matches with the company. Is the company risk-averse, risk-aware, or innovation-driven? Has the company tolerance against failures, if failures are not related, of course, with safety, environmental, and compliance issues? Yes or not? And when we say, yes, we will adopt AI, at which field? There are fields that have low criticality and others that they are quite high. For example, planning of crew, yes, it's welcome, but has a low criticality. But if we are talking about autonomous ship, it's high risk, quite high risk. So the second thing is to be controllable. AI needs ownership, executive ownership. It cannot stay as an IT development because it will act as a pilot project, for example. We need to be on top of it. We need to assign tasks and who makes what and how the problem is solved. And after this, we have, of course, to be the compliance. It has to be compliant. IT must fit in the regulation set up, cybersecurity, data protection, and whatever will come in future that is still unknown. And last but not least, the AI must give, for the time being, must give a consultation, must not take decision. Humans take decision. So provided that all these are satisfied, yes, we can say that AI could be aligned and could be incorporated in the company's business. And we have then to start gradually to implement it and, of course, running some pilot projects and step by step to develop it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. This needs to be supported at the executive level to be successful. Konstantinos, question. Can AI support decarbonization targets? And if so, how?
Good morning, everyone. Olga, Nikos, thank you so much for the invitation. And congratulations for another successful Capital Link, the 9th. So since we're sitting between now and the coffee for the ones who stayed in the room, let me give our position on this. Okay, AI itself cannot decarbonize vessels, but it can give valuable input and insights to the operators in order to set up, first of all, the decarbonization plan of its fleet, and then it can support the data analysis and the evaluation of the success or not of the plan in place. For Cyprus and Greek shipowner audience, using AI, it's not just algorithm. It's about discipline. In our experience at Thermatech Group, operating across ballast water treatment systems, energy-saving devices, carbon capture and fleet performance digital platforms, AI creates value when some fundamentals are in place. First of all, we need to align AI with regulatory and commercial pressure. The real drivers today, it's CII and EU ETS exposure, fuel EU Maritime, charter party performance, and reporting compliance. So AI must directly address these pressures and not exist as an innovative experiment. Second, we need to secure measurement credibility. Before doing anything else, we need to verify fuel consumption, reliable emission monitoring, consistent non-reporting, and harmonized fleet data architecture. Imagine if your MR operating at Limassol port reports differently than your VLCC, which is trading in West Africa. In that case, AI will just amplify those inconsistencies. And last but not least, we need to define the ownership internally within our organization. AI cannot sit between IT and technical teams. It must be embedded under a fleet performance or technical management with board level visibility, especially for listed or institutionally funded companies. For Greek and ship owners who are historically engineering driven, the mindset should be to use it to digitize and protect asset value and regulatory position, not to follow a trend. By doing all this, at the end, we'll have a less carbon-intensive vessel. And based on what we heard in the previous panel, I think that so far shipping has done a lot towards this goal, and there are few touches that needs to be done, and AI can support on these touches. Thank you.
And Konstantinos has a follow-up question, which I think should be of interest to many people. What basic steps should owners take before they even think about deploying AI?
That's a nice question. Okay. First of all, they need to establish a transparent baseline, what the consumption normalization is, what the weather routing impact is, what the cargo profile is, what the hull conditions are, and all must be agreed before starting applying the AI strategy. Second, because we cannot rely solely on AI, we cannot go from zero to hero. Okay, we need to take all the small steps in order to be familiarized and evaluate what the AI can offer to our organization. We need to use hybrid commercial structures. From the technology provider side, okay, we're eager to sell more services, more equipment. However, this is not supporting a viable and long-lasting AI relationship with the customer. Therefore, we propose to use hybrid commercial structures, moderate infrastructure fee, and performance-linked components. Try to verify fuel savings or emission reduction. This aligns incentives without exposing owners to uncontrolled downside. And last but not least, we need to take small steps. So the deployment should be done in small steps strategically. Start with pilot units, 2 to 5 vessels, depending on your fleet size. And then review with technical and commercial departments jointly the results of these pilot trials. And then expand only after you have quantified results. especially for the Greek and ship owners who value long-term partnership. Trust is built through measurable performance and not aggressive pricing. Thank you.
Thank you. Vasileios, question. During the evaluation or demo phases, how can AI tools that generally work be separated from AI solutions that look nice but are really a game changer?
So once more, thanks to the organizers and to Capital Link. I heard a lot of interesting things from the previous speakers, and I wanted to add a little bit on this before answering your question. The implementation of AI and how cautious we are in implementing depends on the sector. I mean, if you just want to write an email, you should not be cautious. You could just use ChatGPT. If you are trying to understand better a commercial issue, you don't need. You might need to protect some of your info. If you are talking for an autonomous ship, extremely cautious. So in Seanergy, we have been trying to pioneer and front-run digitalization and utilization of available tools many years now, from 2017. To let everybody a little bit understand, let's say the weather optimization through AI services is a very well-proven decarbonization method. So on that destination, we can go with much confidence. In the same time, we are seeing excellent results. To go to your question, we are seeing excellent results in a very quick time through a tool that we are utilizing these days and that we are co-developing, which is called Ask Chief. For the ones that are not familiar, it's a ChatGPT-like genius library that you interact with, that's ship-specific, so it digests the manual of your vessel. You ask a technical question, it's a technical superintendent, let's say, role. You ask a technical question, and it gives you a suggestion on a ship-specific basis. So to answer your question, there are tools that the people that are doing the everyday job can feel a presentation of a demo that just looks nice and or really works. To mention as an example, with Ask Chief that we are co-developing these days, we revolutionized in 2 weeks the way we go over the technical data of our vessels. Or with Signal Fusion, which is a crew assessment AI tool, we revolutionized the way of crew assessment that we're doing traditionally, the traditional way, let's say, in a month. So there are tools that if the onboarding process needs patience, but if you start seeing results during gradual onboarding, you understand that this is not a tool that's well presented, it's a tool that worth the patience.
Great. And as a follow-up question, what type of operational proof or emissions reporting would be needed to trust AI-driven advice on speed and routing adjustments?
So, being the head of the performance department, the simple, most difficult answer is that for performance purposes, I would only trust a sea trial. A real sea trial of a tool is the only thing that is bulletproof safeguarding that what you are seeing is the correct assessment. So if we are talking about a hardware improvement or a navigation optimizer or something like this idea of tools, a real sea trial of the vessel is the only thing that safeguards that you are reading correct results. What we all aim to do and what's easy to do, let's say for all of us, or digestible or manageable to do, which is in-service trials and assessments and all this variety that is more cost-effective but not that accurate, is not trustworthy hardware-wise. let's say large language models handling or technical libraries or compliance libraries, the results, the right people judging the results are the best option to trust.
Thank you very much. So we're at a point where I don't know how much time is left on our clock. The TV went out, so I'm going to do a slight pivot to make sure we can express your remarks. So maybe just open it up to kind of, even though we might be closing, but some just closing remarks that you have with the time remaining.
Thank you. I think shipping operates on a very tight margins, especially today. And real operational risk and absolutely reliability requirements and demands from everyone, from charterers, from regulators, from terminals, from bankers, from everyone. So for us in CASTOR, artificial intelligence must firstly support better and quicker decisions to reduce uncertainty and fit naturally to our existing real operations, without, of course, adding complexity and overburden to seafarers and to shore personnel.
Same for you, Dimitris.
I would like to add here that AI as it is today, it is just another tool. It makes a little bit our life easier, but it is just another tool. AI needs to scale, but AI doesn't scale because the model is wrong. AI doesn't scale because the companies are not ready. And I want just to say 5 parameters that for me are important to have success in the future. Number 1, AI must have executive ownership. It cannot stay unattended. AI needs data, not too many data. We start collecting data since 2013. We have huge number of data. This is not the case. We need to have transparent data in all operations. That is the reason that Danaos has been committed that by the end of 2027, everything in the company will be digitized and digitalized in order to create foundation for the scaling. And then, of course, we have to see who fixed the mistake, the failure when happens, and then to have the AI incorporated in our processes, not just fancy dashboards. It means nothing and create a mess. It has to be an integrated part of our business. Thank you.
Konstantinos?
Thank you, Joe. So for us, AI is not a standalone product. It's an enabler of environmental performance. As environmental regulation intensify and capital increasingly flows towards compliant fleets, AI becomes a tool, first of all, to protect asset valuation, which is very important, strengthen financial credibility. We know banks are looking into this. Optimize the carbon strategy, as we talked about it earlier. And last but not least, enhance transparency towards regulators and investors. The future competitive advantage of Cyprus and Greek ship owners will not just come from adapting technology first, but from integrating environmental systems, digital intelligence, and operational excellence into one coherent strategy. That is where technology providers like us must deliver real value. Thank you.
And finally, Vasileios?
Shipping, from its birth, is leading the way in performance improvement. We are not the creation of bigger and bigger and bigger vessels, or the decrease in fuels proves across the decades that we are in the forefront of efficiency and innovation. AI, I agree with Mr. Vastarouchas, is just a tool. But for the time being, all of us, in the everyday work or in the everyday life of all of us, we are all over-flooded with data and data and data that, in our opinion, we do not take good advantage of. We are all collecting data, high-performance data, non-reported data, past data, all kinds of data that we are not utilizing as much as we can. AI, the various AI tools that are around us are, in our opinion, a very cheap way of digitizing and automizing the handling of this data that will increase the realization of who we are and will allow us to improve and maintain best practice all across our operations.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody today for this conversation. It's really interesting. I've been spending a majority of my time visiting shipping companies around the world over the last 4 to 6 months talking about AI. So it's a conversation everyone seems to be happening. Very impressed, I think, what this panel is doing. This clearly seems to be a competitive advantage. The race has started, and it's just a matter of when you decide to join the race. But the people who join the race early, get their arms around this, will definitely have a competitive advantage in the future. So I would encourage everyone, I think, to do some research, reach out to the panelists here, and look for ways to deploy things inside your organization. Some really good, it's insight here as far as risks, things you need to be focused on, and also getting the adoption from your personnel. So this is a cultural change inside of your organizations and something you also need to consider.
If I just may finalize here, just thanks very much for the panel. It was very interesting. I just want to remind everybody that artificial intelligence, we don't have to confuse the two S's. It's there to supplement the human being, not substitute him. And sometimes we get confused. Thank you.
Yes, very, very good comment there. So thank you very much, everyone. A round of applause for the panelists.